And years ago, the original person at Baker, about 100 years ago, she started a laboratory school of a university in Evanston, and it was called the Children's School. I even have a book about the history of the Children's School in Evanston. It since got renamed and became Baker Demonstration School, named after her. And so when I was starting a school, I looked up, I wonder if that name is like, you have to have a copyright, you have to kind of own the name, and no one had owned it. And so I said, I'm going to own it. And so we're taking the original children's school from up in Evanston, and we're bringing it into Oak Park, and I always love the name because after all, it is so much about the children and the children's school. So that's how.
Was all this stuff here, or was it built in?
You got a good question. When I started, I just went over to this little house next to Unity Temple, and I saw the upstairs, and I knew they were using it in the evenings and on weekends for some of their activities there. And so I said, can I rent it? And they said yes. So I just had an empty space. There was just a couple little rooms there. And because I had been the head of many schools, I said, well, this is what we need. We need some tables, we need some chairs, we need lots of, basically, because we wanted it to be the children's school, what we used a lot of was cardboard and tape and all the things that you guys like to make fun of and games and do things with. We started with that. A lot of make, and now it's called STEAM and other kinds of things, but we had a lot of things that were really just, what can you guys do to make it and make it work, and paint and that. So it wasn't a lot of fancy stuff, just a few things, but as we got bigger, obviously we needed more things.
How do you move buildings? So do you like do it over the year, like close one building and then just like move?
How do we move buildings?
Yeah.
Well, first when we were in the small space, we knew we needed another one, and Mrs. Brockman came to me and said, I've got a place.
But like, how do you
and then it really was, all of us, Mrs. Brockman, Ms. Freed, Ms. Martin, all of us had to kind of load things into a U-Haul. We did it ourselves, and we moved it all. And then we ordered a lot of furniture, and as it arrived, we unloaded it and made it a bigger school.
But did you sort of like do it over the year?
A good question. We did it over the summer, because the summer we didn't have any school programs, so at the end of the school year, when we moved into the other building, we had a month or so to do that. Yeah, okay.
What year? 19 years ago.
2004, 19 years ago. Yeah.
How did you come up with the idea for the publishing party?
Oh, the publishing party, that was something when I first came to Chicago. I worked in a school and I was a first, second grade teacher. And some of the other teachers, we had this idea that we wanted to honor the writing that students do. And so we did it on a weekly basis. We had people, everyone writing from kindergarten on, and creating stories of their own voice and of their own doing. So every week we had a little small publishing where they would read whatever they're working on, or whether they had a story ready to publish. Parents would come in and help write some of those stories out and help us with people who couldn't get right. And then at the end of the year, when I was teaching at this other school, we started a small publishing party where children would pick the book that they liked the most that they wrote during the year and put it into a hardback form. And so when we started the children's school, the very first year with 13 students, 13 of those kindergarten and first graders published their story that they really were proud of. And we had parents come, and we made like dirt pudding and all kinds of fun things. And that became, I think, the tradition of the children's school, because it's a celebration of your voices and of your writing and what you do. And it's always been a very nice thing. I hope you like it. You know, that's a good question. My son at the time was a kindergartner nearby here, and he learned a little differently. And all of us have ways of learning. And as he was experiencing kindergarten, I was like, gosh, you know, there's got to be other environments and ways of learning. Not that the school he was at was bad. They had really good educators there, but they didn't have an alternative. And so that was really in the fall of the year before I started the school. So I really only had about 6 months to kind of put everything together and get it started. So it was a very quick turnaround to get the school started.
Wow.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun.